and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Outdoors People with me, C.W. Getz, and her, Maya Marzaki. Good evening. It's Wednesday, September 13th, 2023. We've got a beautiful 71 degree Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius, sunny and calm day here in north central Illinois. Maya, what you got there in São Paulo, Brazil?
Oh my gosh, we are in the end of the winter, so it is pretty much summer. So I don't know how the summer is going to be because it is so warm already. So it is 30 degrees Celsius for the free world and 85 degrees Fahrenheit for you guys, United States.
Wow. You're beat us. You're finally beating us now. So this is an indication of what's to come. You've got all this hot weather coming your way. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Not quite as warm as Aruba, though, right?
Oh, yes, for sure. It is not. I hope, actually, because it is fun when you are in a vacation, but not in your regular day.
Yeah, right. Well, so we spent, Maya and I spent a week in Aruba, almost a week for me. I was a day late, but that's another story. But we had a nice time in Aruba last week shooting video footage for an upcoming episode. But it was very nice. We stayed at the Holiday Inn in Aruba, and the temperatures were very warm. How would you say?
Crazy warm, actually.
Crazy
There is no word to describe how warm it is.
It's a good thing we had swimming pools and the ocean there with us to keep us cool. But it was plenty warm. But y'all appreciate that this winter. I'll remember how warm that is. So Mustang 774 says hello all. I said, hey, hello back. All right.
Hello.
Thanks for tuning in. And we can't wait to bring you that episode. It's probably going to be a two-parter, if not maybe more, because we have a lot of footage and a lot of cool stuff. We did some really cool stuff.
Too much there.
Absolutely. Maya was always on the go. I mean, you did not stop. I have no idea how you have that much energy to do all that.
Yeah. I am the one who wakes up earlier and don't go to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And it's still doing, we were there just for a week, so I was feeling like I needed to take an advantage and know and do as much as I could. And I feel like I need to go again to do what I didn't do.
Well, you and our good friend Rumi Rumesa, I'll just say Rumi Aslan, man, you guys definitely got your money worth on that vacation. You did everything you possibly could, so good for you. So. Yeah. Well, until then, tonight's episode of Outdoors People is brought to you by Rutabaga Paddle Sports, providing time on the water.
Campground Views, making camping easier.
Duluth Pack, made in the USA since 1882.
And by Jackson Kayak, pursuing joy through paddle sports.
Tonight's episode is Run Like a Woman with our special guest, Natalie Dau. 51-year-old Australian-born marketing expert and consultant, media creator, best-selling author, and ultra runner Natalie Dau has called Singapore her home for the past 20 years. Natalie has over 25 years of global media marketing and consulting experience. She's co-author of Amazon bestseller Run Like a Woman and founder of a highly successful app, Rockstar Fit. Sponsored by ASICS, Natalie is also an ambassador and spokesperson for brands like Garmin, Martin, Ultraspire, and Soneva Resorts. In addition to hosting her own weekly radio segment, Natalie has also produced and hosted a number of popular video series, including Keeping It Real, which appeared on Facebook's lifestyle program and attracted over 30 million viewers. Another was the popular series Zero to Hero. An accomplished athlete, Natalie has 8 ultra-marathon wins to her credit and represented Asia at the Spartan Race World Championships. She's also a qualified trainer accredited in sports nutrition with a postgraduate degree in marketing science. Mother of a 14-year-old daughter, Natalie enjoys giving back to her local community through government and charity initiatives, as well as focusing on sharing the messages from her book, Run Like a Woman. Natalie does this through public speaking engagements and retreats, inspiring people of all ages to challenge themselves at getting uncomfortable.
Hi, I'm Natalie Dau, aka Rockstar Arms. Through being a trainer, an athlete, and a content creator, I've got to meet some amazing people with inspiring stories. So I had an idea for Keeping It Real, which is about real people inspiring other real people through their journeys to live their healthiest life.
I was actually diagnosed with low-grade depression, they call it dysthymia.
Talk me through one of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome.
One big one is the vitiligo on my face. It was a huge shock to me.
Don't know what would have happened or where I would be if he wasn't there when I needed him. I don't know.
And with that, welcome to the show, Natalie.
Thank you very much for having me. What a great introduction.
Yeah, you like it. Actually, it was a great video. I really like that. And we were going to try this. We're doing this new thing where we put the video in front of it right in the beginning, right after the guest introduction. And I like that. I just think it really bam, here she is. Check her out in her element, or he, whatever. So we were going to do that a couple weeks ago. We didn't have the video to work with, but this is the first one. So congratulations for being our first time we get to try it.
Hey, thanks. I love being a guinea pig.
I like it. What do you think, Maya? You like that whole program there?
Yeah. I love it. It worked out pretty well, mainly with her. And I must say, it is easy to keep it real when the real is like you, because we were talking about how she's looking great before the show started, and she just replied, "I just woke up like that." It's easy, keep real when the real is that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we have here the 1 million question at first. So you started your career as a baseball player. So what motivated you to become a runner?
Yeah, I think, basketball's a great sport growing up. I'm a big advocate for children playing team sports. But I think at some point you become an adult, it's harder to coordinate things. And for me, running was just one of those things that was easy. Put on your shoes, go. You can do it anytime, anywhere, any place. So that's how my love of running started.
Let me ask you a question. You were in Australia, and that's where you're from. What made you leave Australia?
Yeah, I'm always up for an adventure. My parents were big travelers and still are. And I think when I had the opportunity to move to Asia, I'd already been traveling here for work. I thought, why not come for 2 years? What's the worst that can happen? I'll just move back to Australia. And 20 years later, I'm still here.
Do you miss Australia? Because I can't imagine leaving. If I was in a place like that, I can't imagine leaving there.
You know what? It's a fantastic place to go back and visit. And, we spoke, I'm actually flying there tonight. So I get down, 3-4 times a year. So I feel like, that's a good compromise.
Yeah. It's quite a trip though, isn't it?
Yeah, about 7 hours.
Okay. Well, that's not as bad as I thought. I figure it's probably 12 or something like that. But yeah, good deal.
Yeah, it is okay. And you have the best of all the world. So that's good for you. You can enjoy the best of too. And where did the name Rockstar Arms came from?
Oh, that's an embarrassing story. I always feel like a bit of an idiot with this one, to be totally honest. When people ask what's my handle, I sort of whisper it. This was at the beginning of social media, and my friends used to always say, "Oh, you've got great toned arms, so you should call yourself Rockstar Arms." So I did as a joke, and then started getting followers, and then got verified. And once you're verified, you can't change your handle. So I've been stuck with it, ever since. I've tried many times to change it. So it's definitely not not one for look at my arms, but it was just a bad joke that went wrong.
So you got to be careful with those kind of things that apparently once you verify, you're in, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
I wish I had known.
And it is funny because as much as you don't like, as much it is going to stick in people's mind. So be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you do have rockstar arms. So, it's not like it's
Yeah.
not true, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say now the pressure is on to keep them. So that's the downside to it.
Yeah, you're obligated now for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's a good motivation.
Yes.
Well, that's so funny. Well, we are going to a little break, but don't go away. You will be right back.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "Well, we don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutabaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on The Camping Show.
It is time to go camping. Introducing Campground View's virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sites, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground View's virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
Duluth Pack is handcrafted for every lifestyle, making memories since 1882. In store at 365 Canal Park Drive or online at duluthpack.com.
We're one big family, a community of paddlers, and we want to make sure that everyone has a great time out on the water.
We are made right here in Sparta, Tennessee, USA.
This is where every Jackson kayak is born. Built by hand with a focus on innovation.
We are Jackson Kayak.
We are
Jackson Kayak.
We're Jackson Kayak.
We are Jackson Kayak.
And we're back with our guest, Natalie Dau. Natalie, as I understand it, you had some medical issues, some challenges. How were you able to overcome those being a runner?
Yeah, I had, I still have rheumatoid arthritis and deep vein thrombosis. So I think when it came to running for me, it was just all about perspective. It's not cancer. I'm not on my deathbed, and I'm still lucky enough to be able to run. So I think no matter how slow I went or that I couldn't, run a marathon or run an ultra, it was all about just appreciating what I actually could do with my body, and showing it some love and treating it well, and then just overcoming the mental side that it's okay to push a bit and get through it.
It's funny. I have some of that rheumatoid arthritis, and I'm just curious. When you hurt, what do you do? What do you say to yourself? How do you just bear down and do what you do?
Yeah, I think it's about I'm choosing to run an ultra, so I've put myself in this position. Think about why I'm there, and what the consequences are of not finishing or stopping. So for me, that's what really keeps me going.
Really, because that's tough. I mean, when I have done things. I'm like, man, I gotta either stop or I have to take a break. But you don't do that. You continue on. That's impressive.
Or stupid.
Wait, what? Say that again. I missed part of that.
I said or stupid if I had
I don't know. I don't know.
Crazy.
That takes a lot. Yeah, man. Definitely and to endure is that's impressive. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think, when we're talking about mental strength, it's like, I have a lot of friends that can't run, or, a friend that's disabled. So for me, it's just, appreciating what I have and making the most of that.
Yeah, well, that's impressive. Very good. Oh, we can't hear Maya. We can see her.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
She's muted. There we go. Okay. I wondered if that was, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, guys, how funny. No, I was just saying how nice she can face the problems and make the problem become a good advantage of make her be stronger than another people. So it's a really nice way of seeing and facing problems. That's really nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you would can you sorry guys, could you share your experience in track and field?
Yeah, so track and field, I grew up like any Australian kid running around the local park with your shoes off. And so did it very, very young, but then it wasn't something that I pursued in high school or college. I had no interest. So it wasn't until later in life, in my 40s, that I decided to revisit it and just see what it would be like, and to test myself and get uncomfortable doing something I hadn't really done before. So found out I was okay at it. The 800 and 1500 meters were my specialty, and won some races doing that. But soon discovered that this old body maybe didn't like going explosive, and would get injured a fair amount, calves and hamstrings and things. So, hats off to everyone that's grown up running track at high school and college, because your body is attuned to it. It's a very hard thing to try and pick up later on in life.
Yeah, I'll bet. I'm just thinking about that. When I was in track, I was a pole vaulter and a high jumper, and I did do the 440 relay. But it seems like and I don't really care who you are, you're going to sustain an injury at some point doing something, and it's just part of the game, pardon the term. But yeah, and I'll tell you what, when you do that, it's a little bit of emotional setback too, because you're like, geez, I want to be out there competing, but I'm injured and I can't. And I mean, you get that, I'm sure, right, Natalie?
Yeah, 100%. I think the longer stuff definitely suits my body. I think maybe it's just going slower, and I'm built for endurance. But that short, sharp stuff, I mean, my muscles did not like that. I think I must be full of slow twitch muscles, not fast twitch muscles.
Well, it definitely does challenge you when you're quick and fast stuff. I mean, for sure, definitely more than you jerking fast movement. Tell us about the Spartan Race World Championships, would you?
Yeah, it was great. I was lucky enough to get to two of them at the height of Spartan, which was great, in Olympic Valley. And so, thinking about coming from Singapore, where it's 90 degrees and 100% humidity every day, off to Olympic, and at sea level, off to Olympic Valley at altitude with snow on the ground, to run a 25-kilometer race through the mountains was definitely an experience with, and racing alongside some of the world's best. And the highlight, would have to be that there was always a swim involved. So up the top of the mountain somewhere, you're having to get into freezing cold water, and this would certainly saw everyone out. You would either see people break down and not be able to do the swim, so they were out of the race, or see people come out of the water and have to take one of the medical blankets or seek medical help, which actually then automatically disqualified you. So that was a real mental challenge, and then knowing what to do when you're out of the water, freezing cold in 0 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
What's the temperature of this water, you're saying?
It's up the top of Olympic Valley, right at the very, very top. So it's not frozen, but it's pretty damn close.
I'm looking at my conversion chart here from, let's see, I'm going to pull this up. What would you say it is in Celsius? Look at, I got this handy little,
Yeah, I think it has to be like hopping into an ice bath. So you've got to think it's about 5 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So Celsius, 5 degrees, that's 40 degree Fahrenheit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you're right. That's close to freezing.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's funny actually, because your body was not happy with track and field, but look what you are doing right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How come?
I'm thinking heart attack, right? That's the first thing that comes to my brain. When you come from, you're going from, I could imagine people get sick from like being all hot and that humid and going right to something like that, Natalie, or what?
Well, I think because we're up at school, so Olympic Valley, so it was already cold. But the problem was the hypothermia afterwards, because you're in your clothes, you're in your shoes, you can't take them off to get into that water. So you're then having to go and run the rest of the race soaking wet after getting into that, basically ice bath. So it was all about, put a wool beanie on your head, put gloves on, warm up how you can. There was definitely a fine art to trying to stay warm.
Any brandy at the end of that, or to warm you up a little bit, or?
Oh yeah, whatever you could get your hands on.
A vodka,
wow.
I don't know, right?
Yeah. My God.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Congrats. And can you share with us about your best-selling book, Run Like a Girl? And by the way, I love the name.
I think that's my mistake. It's Run Like a Woman, and that is a misprint on my behalf. I apologize for that, guys. Run Like a Woman. Yes.
Yes, that's all right. Well, we're all women, girls, females, all of it. It's all good. So I co-authored it with a good friend of mine, Dr. Jason Karp, who's based in the US, and it's a book about training around your menstrual cycle. So it's a topic that's not talked about very often, unfortunately, and it affects half the population. So the idea was to bring this to the forefront, to normalize it, and to empower, both girls and women to better understand their body and how to train to perform around this. So just to educate, to know how to get your best, and to educate around, when to eat, when to push, when to pull back. So it's really been fantastic, and it's been received so well, which is great.
Yes, that's very nice of you, because we have no information about that, and we cross that every single day in our lives, like women, and I know how it can become a problem if you don't know your body as good as you should. So that's really nice of you putting the information out there for make us feel like normal and improve the performance as well. So that's really nice. Congrats for this job.
Yeah, congratulations, absolutely. I want to ask you about your Rockstar Fit app, but before I do that, I want to ask you this: when you winning 8 ultra marathons, if I'm correct in that,
well,
were the people that were younger than you that you were beating, and if that were the case, how did it's just kind of like, wow. I mean, you're beating people that are younger than you, and usually that's not the way it goes. Am I right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so the 8 are 8 female overall, and some of them were male and female overall. And I think
like, wow.
And I get to a start line and people look at you, and I'm not, 100 pounds. I'm carry a bit of muscle, and so I think they dismiss you, and then because of your age, of course.
Sure.
And then you get to the end of the thing across the line first, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, wow, you're so strong." So the narrative definitely changes. I think being older running ultras is definitely to your advantage because you've got that life experience and you can dig a bit deeper when you need to. And that's what I find is, just keep going. It's that mental toughness that gets you through. Of course, there's hours and hours of training. You can't get away with not doing that. But I really do think the differentiator is the mental toughness.
Most people, if they were in your position and people looked at you and just said, yeah, okay, forget about it. She's not 22 and she's, not 100 pounds. They dismissed you, as you say. There's a lot of people who would carry an attitude around with them, and they would, when they were done, when they finished and they beat all those people, they would be dancing them in the dirt. But you are so humble and down to earth. I'm like, wow, how do you do that?
Yeah, and when I'm not going to the Olympics, it's just to put it in context, it's an ultra race in Malaysia or wherever it may be, and we're all out there just trying to do our best and have fun. So hats off to every single person who whether they finish or not, they're at least out there giving it a go. So I think it's just appreciating the community.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and I'm gonna go ahead, Maya.
No, sorry. I was just going to say it is a rock star mindset. Just happened, just try it and have fun. And then, I got it first.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, Natalie, let's talk about your Rockstar Fit app. Tell us about that. What's that all about?
Yeah, so I actually started this app years ago. There wasn't anyone in Asia doing anything similar. So I put content online just on the web format and then had a lot of people interested, so decided to get an app developed. So the idea is that there's a lot of free content on there. You can come, you can try out a lot of workouts for free. There's ones you can do with your children, ones you can do in a hotel room if you're traveling for business, and then different ones for different levels of fitness. So the idea is something for everyone. Every little bit counts, whether it's 5 minutes a day or 35 minutes a day. It's all about just getting people moving.
I think it's really a cool thing that you've customized or tailored this, so to speak, for people that are traveling. They can do in their hotel room and all that. I don't ever remember seeing an app like that. That's ingenious. Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just getting people moving is the key. So, I'm a big one for no excuses.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
I love that. Keep it doing, right? Keep it doing. And talking about doing exercises with your kids, can you tell us about your daughter?
Yes, so my daughter Liliana, who's 14 years old, and of course, she's grown up in our house, so has no choice but to play sport. And that's the normal thing you do.
I love it.
And the rule in our house is one team sport, one individual sport, because I'm a true believer in both teach you something about yourself and about life. So she's been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu since she was sort of 5 years old, and her passion sport is actually basketball. So she's very self-driven around that, and then we encourage her to do something else. So she's just made the volleyball team as well. So it's about exploring, building community, having all these fantastic experiences. She's definitely not an ultra runner. She does not enjoy running with mum. So for her it's 100 meters and being indoors playing those other sports.
That's it's funny because I can't help but think you definitely get your genes. You were a basketball player. She and her passion is basketball. Now there's got to be something to that, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think I may be influenced, and also to be fair, my husband is 6 foot tall, so 6'4".
Oh.
So hopefully she gets some of his height, and it helps out with the basketball. Yeah.
He was a basketball player then, I'm sure too, right?
No, he wasn't. Unfortunately, he grew up in Wales in the UK, so it was all about rugby for him.
Oh, wow. All that height wasted on rugby.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Oh my gosh. She has everything to help her out and be a good athlete in any sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the part of she has no choice.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That was so funny. Well, guys, we are going to a little break, but don't go away because we have some pictures and videos to look up.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "Well, we don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutubaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on The Camping Show.
It is time to go camping. Introducing Campground View's virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sights, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground View's virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
Duluth Pack is handcrafted for every lifestyle, making memories since 1882. In store at 365 Canal Park Drive or online at duluthpack.com.
We're one big family, a community of paddlers, and we want to make sure that everyone has a great time out on the water.
We are made right here in Sparta, Tennessee, USA.
This is where every Jackson kayak is born. Built by hand with a focus on innovation.
We are Jackson Kayak.
We are
Jackson Kayak.
We're Jackson Kayak.
We are Jackson Kayak.
And we're back with Natalie Dau. Let's take a look at the some photos here that Natalie sent us, and we'll have her tell us a little bit about what we're looking at there. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, so this one is a 200-kilometer race in Malaysia. And you can see the dogs in the background. You know, racing in Asia is always very interesting. These are wild dogs. So a lot of times I'm running with a stick. You'll come across monkeys, wild boars, snakes. Yeah. So it is really an adventure.
It's like you're in the jungle, but you're on pavement. It's like, wow. Yeah. I'm looking at this dog going, I'm sure that's not Natalie's dog in the middle of the road waiting to get fed. You know? No, it is not. There was a pack of dogs just behind me. Wild dogs. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's so this is after the race at about 2 a.m. in the morning when I'd finished that 200-kilometer race. Just very, very happy to be done. Oh, wow. Yeah, 2 a.m. Most of us are asleep and you're running. Like, wow. That's awesome. Cool. You look happy, though. I'll say that. Yeah, very, very happy it's finished. Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, I love it. This is a first place or what? Was this first place? Yes, awesome. It was. I would be happy too.
Oh, yeah.
Explains that.
This was my very, very first ultra, 100-kilometer one in Singapore. I had zero expectations going in. I'd never run that distance or anything close to that distance. And this was the look of I guess, you know, happiness. I'd crossed the line first with males and females, and I think I was in shock at this point in time.
Oh my god!
The look of satisfaction and disbelief. I love it. I love that. Oh my god!
Yeah, see, just a rock star. See, try it once, and then first place just happened.
Little Michael Jordan there, right? I mean,
yeah. That's crazy. Oh my gosh.
My beautiful daughter. There you go. That was I think on her birthday this year.
It's hard to tell who's the daughter and who's the mother.
I was going to tell the same. Like, look like siblings, just sisters.
Absolutely.
I love hearing that, and she hates hearing that, of course.
Well, we're not implying that she looks old. We're the other way around.
Yeah.
This was an ultra just before lockdown in Asia, before COVID hit. So this was March of 2020. So managed to sneak one in before the world exploded after that. So that was a great one through a place called Kuching in Malaysia.
I'm seeing a number 1 there.
Yes, you are seeing.
That does mean that you won. Okay, pretty sure. Pretty
Just
sure
another first place. Oh boy, you were something else.
Now this one was super interesting. It was at altitude, and it was a 7K loop running up and down basically the highest point of Malaysia for 24 hours. So it was as many loops as you could do around this mountain up and down in 24 hours. So a very different race, and it was cold because you're up so high. So a super interesting, different mind challenge for that one.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's cool.
Back to Spartan racing. So this was one in Indonesia. And one of the longer ones. So one of the last few that I did, but that was a lot of fun, a lot of mud involved in this one.
Cool.
Cool.
Oh.
And this one's in Penang in Malaysia. So it was an 80K ultra around an island. So again, a lot of wild dogs on this one because you were running through quite a lot of farms that they were protecting. This was post-COVID, a really fantastic race. There was, I think for an ultra, about 700 participants, which is pretty big. So a super fun one.
Yeah, it look like you are having fun.
Absolutely.
And this one was a very interesting one, a 1 kilometer loop for 12 hours. So same loop around a park. Again, a very, very different type of mental challenge, doing the same 1 kilometer loop and not wanting, not stopping every time you go past go, basically. So a different mental challenge. I think I ended up doing about 109 loops in that 12 hours. So,
Natalie, not only do you have rock star arms, you have rock star leg. Look at this girl. I mean, there's just everywhere you look is muscle, and it's not like like bodybuilder, that kind of. It's excellent tone muscle. I mean, wow, impressive, super impressive.
And that was version 1, so same event, but a year earlier. So I'd come back for more. Let's say I enjoyed the community of that because you're running around with the same people for such a long time. So that was one of the races I did for a second time. Most of them I sort of do once and move on, but this was one that I actually came back for.
Yeah. Wow. Impressive.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. The two pictures before that, you run 24 hours in the same place, like a rat running.
Correct. Yes. So I've done a few of those races, and so it's just a different type of challenge. It's still an ultra, but it's being able to mentally, push through the same loop time and time again.
Wow. You got to just feel dead after a race like that, right?
Yes, mentally exhausted.
Yes, because you feel like, okay, I crossed it here already, like many times. I'm doing it again, really.
Look at all these medals. I mean, this is just, you look like a jewelry store, a walking jewelry store. Right?
Yeah, that was my track days then. So that was after an Asia track meet, Asia Masters track meet. Yeah.
Wow. How many medals are around your neck there?
Oh, I don't. There's a few. It was like a
Like a dozen
1500
or something, or what?
Yeah, I think maybe about 6. There's a couple of relay ones in there, and 3 individual ones, I think. Yeah.
Wow. Can't believe you left track after you were that good, but still. Yeah.
Yeah. But she's good in everything she does, so not a
She
big
is.
deal.
Yeah. My gosh.
This was a recent one down on the Gold Coast in Australia, running the marathon. So a fantastic. If anyone wants to travel to do a marathon, I can't recommend Gold Coast in Queensland. Enough. It's along the beach. It's flat, and I guess I started marathons. Well, I'm not really a marathon runner, but I do them as part of my training. So this one was actually my PB. At 51 years old back in July, so qualified me for Boston.
Wow. I noticed all your shoes match. Is that is that accidental?
No, that's on purpose.
I was
Yes, definitely. Yeah. We're all dressed the same. It was on purpose.
Love it. It's like the Jackson 5, man. I love that.
This was an event in Thailand last year. So with all of the ASICS sponsored athletes, we do a 10-kilometer time trial every year. I think this is a great photo. I love it because there's people of all backgrounds. The guy standing next to me is Nepalese, and he's a Gurkha soldier in Singapore. Yeah, and then the guy on the end's a national runner. So it's great that running brings so many diverse backgrounds together.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, very cool. All right, we've got another way cool video of yours. Let's take a look at that. All right.
I'm Natalie Dau. Join me in this sports series as we take budding amateurs and train them like professional athletes over 6 weeks and turn them from zero to hero.
Now is the time to pull. 3, 2, 1.
All right, that's it. Second line.
Come on, push. 37. Ease off, and
Another awesome video. I love that. That is so cool. That is so cool. Go ahead, Maya.
No, so impressive. I'm sorry. I'm just impressed. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, she's just like one thing after another. I mean, yeah. I'm blown away. I feel like I'm talking to the female Michael Jordan here. And I'm not just making that up. Natalie, this is a tough question for you. I mean, this is kind of one of those things where, I hate to ask this, but I'm going to. Everyone has failures in their life. All right. I mean, everyone does. So I'm going to ask you, what's been your biggest failure? And what did you take away from that experience?
Yeah, that's a really, really interesting question. And I think from my perspective, where we define ourselves too easily on our failures and focus on those, not on achievements. So for me, there's not been one in my life that I identify, but I think of myself and I feel like I fail every day in different aspects of my life, whereas, I haven't pushed enough, or there's something I could have done better, whether that was speak to someone or show some more empathy towards someone that I didn't. So I'm constantly learning from, I guess, mini failures, I like to say. There could be hundreds in a day, but that's my outlook, is that I try and encourage people not to define themselves by something that's gone wrong, but think about how they can change all those things that have gone wrong into something that is right.
Yeah. That maybe sound like you're pretty critical of yourself. You're pretty hard on yourself, and that's maybe how you motivate yourself. Is that right too? I mean, being that critical?
Yeah, I think high standards. And I think, over the years, I've learned to trust myself more. I think, if there's a failure, it's maybe we listen to other people's opinions of ourselves too much and don't trust what we want to do. And maybe we don't, it knocks our confidence. So we don't really go after what we want. So my advice is always, trust your gut and listen to the people that support you. But the ones that just want to shoot you down, then, I think they're not in your room. They're not on your team.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's beautiful for you because you see your the things you fail as an opportunity to grow, and you have a high standard, so make you be better every day. But in the same time, you are kind with yourself and see that it is just another day, and we can make it better, and you push people up. So that's really nice.
Yeah.
And Natalie, where can people find you online?
Yeah, well, we've talked about it. My social media handles are Rockstar Arms on Facebook and on Instagram. There's a few little TikTok videos floating out there, but you don't need to put yourself through watching those. And then my website as well, which for all the information, which is nataliedau.com, and the book, my book Run Like a Woman, is available on Amazon.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, very much. Well, Natalie, listen, we want to thank you for being our guest here on Outdoors People. It was an absolute pleasure having you here with us.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. I've loved this experience. It's been wonderful.
Yes, thank you very much for being here. It was really nice to see such a strong woman here, and congrats in everything you have accomplished. Thank you very much for your time. And we'd also want to thank each of our sponsors for bringing you tonight's show. Rutabaga Pedal Sports, Campground Views, Duluth Pack, and Jackson Kayak.
Tune in for next week's episode, Feeling Good for Outdoors Activity, with our special guest, Jesse Meany. Along with Maya Marzaki, this is CW Getz saying thank you for tuning in to Outdoors People. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.